This recording is going to show you how to create a spreadsheet to determine your grades in the PLP. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to set up our spreadsheet so that we have some labels that go with the categories in the PLP. So let's start off by creating a spreadsheet to calculate our grades for math. So what you're going to need to do is to go into your drive and go to New, and you're going to create a new Google Sheet. When you do that, it'll pull up a document that looks like this. You'll see grid on it, and it'll say Untitled Spreadsheet. We're going to go ahead and change this to PLP grades. As soon as we can change this, sorry, my computer's just a little bit slow. There we go, PLP grades. Okay, we're going to start off with math. So we're going to make a note here to remind ourselves in this first cell that these are our grades for math. Now, your grades in math in the PLP come from 3 separate categories. The first category is focus areas. And remember that focus areas come in 3 different levels. We have our power focus areas. So I'm putting a label in here, and in this row we're going to store information about our power focus areas. You also have additional focus areas and challenge focus areas. Okay, so those are the different kinds of focus areas that we have. Next, and I'm just skipping a line so that the different contributions to your grade look a little bit separate in my spreadsheet. So next up, we have concept units. These are the things that we do in class together, and you take tests on the content. So we've already had 1 test in each math class. The last thing is projects. We haven't done any projects yet. We will later in the year, and they'll be scored similarly to your projects in science. Now, let's look at how much each of these contributes percent towards your grade. Okay, your power focus areas contribute 21% towards your grade, and your additional focus areas contribute 9% towards your grade. Your challenge focus areas don't actually contribute towards your grade at all. They help you learn, but they don't change your grade in a course. So you can see altogether, the focus areas add up to 30% of your grade. Now let's hop down to the concept unit. Those tests you took at the end of a concept unit are worth 40% of your grade. And projects, when we do them, will be worth 30. The next thing you're going to need to do is figure out how well did you score, or how much are you currently earning for each of these areas. So you want to look at your earned percentage. In order to find out how much of each of these credit areas you've earned, you're going to need to hop into the PLP. So I'm in a demo account here, and I'm looking at this particular student's math class. So it looks like this student, for their power focus areas, is on pace to complete 100%. So I'm going to put 100% here. This particular student looks like they haven't done any of the additional focus areas, so they aren't currently on pace to complete 0% of those. So I'm going to put 0%. This course doesn't have challenge focus areas, so we're just going to leave that one blank because there are no challenge focus areas in this. Now, the concept unit that counts for 40% of the student's grade. Let's see how this student is doing. If I go down and look at the math concepts, the student has an average so far of 74% on that. So I'm going to write 74%. And it matters here that I use the percent symbol for some future calculations. Now, this student hasn't done any projects yet. If you look on the cognitive skills, which is how we score projects, it shows not applicable. And that's the same as us. We haven't done any projects either. So I'm also going to leave that one blank. Now what we need to do is we need to tally up of the total points that you could have earned at this point. How many have you actually earned? Okay, so what have you actually earned? what you've actually learned, and this is where we're going to use a formula. So I'm going to start off in this cell by entering an equal sign. Notice that as soon as I enter an equal sign, a little gray shaded box pops up here, and we're working in the formula bar up here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click on, I'm not going to type in, I'm going to click on the cell that contains the percentage that I earned, 100%, times, I'm going to multiply that by, and then I'm going to click on the cell that contains the total percentage for that focus area. So you earned 100% of the 21% that your power focus counts towards. So I want to multiply those two numbers together, the number in this box and the number in this box. Don't type those numbers in here. Instead, click on the cells and you'll see why in a minute. Now when I enter, the computer does the calculation automatically for me. It took 100% times 21, which is 21. I could earn 21 points by completing the power focus areas, and I have done that, so I've earned those 21 points. What I can do now, because I use those cell references instead of typing numbers in, is I can take the formula that's here, and I can copy it, and I can simply paste the formula in the row below. Notice when I paste it, now the formula looks at the two cells in the next row. 0% of the 9 percentage points you could earn for your additional focus areas is 0. And then I can paste the formula again down below for the concept unit. So you could earn 40 points on the concept unit. You earned 74% of them. 74% of 40 is 29.6. And we haven't done any projects or any challenge focus areas, so we're leaving those blank. All right, the last thing that we need to do then is we need to figure out what percentage of the points we could have earned have we actually earned. So we're going to say total actually earned. It's going to be here. And what I'm going to put in this column is the total I earned for my power focus areas plus, I'm clicking on the total I earned for my additional focus areas, plus the total I earned for my concept unit. Again, I'm creating a formula that looks at those particular cells so that if I change numbers up here, the total is going to automatically calculate. All right, so this student has earned a total of 50.6 of the percentage points they could have earned. So what could they have possibly earned at this point? What is the possible to earn? So in this case, what they could have earned, and again, I'm going to start a formula with an equal sign. They could have earned a total of 21 points for the power focus areas, which they did, plus they could have earned a total of 9 points for the additional focus areas, which they didn't, plus they could have earned a total of 40 points for the concept unit. Those are the things that they could have earned at this point. So it looks like in total, the student could have earned 70 points, and they've only earned 50.6 so far. So how do we find the overall grade in the course then? We're going to use one more formula for this. Your grade is equal to the total you actually earned, click in this box here, divided by the total number that you could have earned. Now, when you enter that, you get a weird looking decimal. Remember, grades are typically expressed as a percentage. So if I select that cell, and then up here in the menu bar, I have a button that says Format as a percent. If I simply click that, it formats that number as a percent, 72.29%. And if we hop back over into the PLP, we'll see that, in fact, that is what this student is currently earning in math. So that's how their math grade is calculated. When you create a similar spreadsheet for science, you're going to go down below and we're going to add another sheet. And this sheet is going to be for science. In science, your grade is a little bit different. So in math, we had power, additional, and challenge focus areas. We still have those in science. So I'm going to copy those labels over. We still have those in science. The difference is that we don't have concept units in science, but we do have projects. So in science, we just have our focus areas and our projects. Let's look then at the points possible to earn in these. So our power focus areas, it's still possible to earn a total of 21 points in those. The additional focus areas are 9. The challenge focus areas don't impact your grade at all. That says 0. They're just there if you want to learn and be even smarter. The projects count a total of 70% of your grade. So once you get a grade for your project in science, you can see that the majority of it is going to be based on your projects. My challenge to you then is to create the remaining columns in your spreadsheet for science and use that to calculate your science grade.